this video, I'm going to cover the read out loud exercise for the French GCSE speaking exam. This text is based on Theme 2, Popular Culture. Here we go. You will have to read it out loud. Here, the examiner is going to mark you or give you a score based on your pronunciation. So please listen and try to read with me and see where you have a problem, and then practice. Now remember that you will have to read out loud. The whole part of the speaking is, for this one, the part B, read out loud, is 3.5 minutes, 3 to 3.5 minutes, okay? You don't have to rush it, by the way. Just take it easy. Take a deep breath and read the words slowly. Okay, here we go. Pendant mon temps libre, j'aime écouter de la musique et cuisiner de nouveaux plats. Ok? Mais parfois, je préfère simplement me détendre et rester chez moi. Je fais aussi de l'exercice de temps en temps. Par exemple, j'adore regarder plusieurs épisodes de ma série du moment sans m'arrêter. Le week-end dernier, j'ai regardé quelques épisodes de Stranger Things et c'était vraiment génial. Okay, so that was the first reading. Let's have a look at sounds now before we read it together again. Okay, so we are familiar with the ENT, AN. Okay, the EN and AN. So pendant, okay, temps, EM. Have a look at that. EN, AM, EM, okay, and AM for that matter are all pronounced en. Pendant mon temps libre, not mon temps libre, okay, r sound. If you're not familiar with how to pronounce the R in French, have a look at one of my videos, you know, the r, where you put your pen in your mouth and r and make the sound. J'aime écouter. Again, accent aigu. Accent grave. OU is pronounced O. So j'aime écouter, and ER is pronounced just like the E with an accent aigu. De la musique et cuisiner. Again, I like to listen to music and cook. And this is the hardest word, I think, to pronounce. Nouveau. Nou, O, and vo, E-A-U, is the sound O. Even though there is an X, you do not pronounce the X. Again, have a look at my video on what not to pronounce. Okay, X is one of them. I crossed out the S of plat because you do not pronounce the S in many words. I'm sure you've noticed in this mais, parfois, again, plat here. You do not pronounce the S. Mais parfois, je préfère simplement me détendre et rester. Again, it's pronounced with like this, chez moi. I've underlined the Z of chez because you do not pronounce the Z at the end. It's pronounced like a E sound again. At mine, it means chez moi is at my house. Je fais, again, you don't pronounce the S, aussi. So E-A-U, E-A-U, A-U, or E-A-U-X or A-U-X are pronounced O no matter what. Je fais aussi de l'exercice de temps en temps. Did you hear the Z? Yeah, sound. Par exemple, j'adore regarder. Okay, again, I'm crossing it out not because it's not correct, it's because the sound is E. Plusieurs épisodes. Okay, so here you pronounce the S. The time you're going to pronounce the S is because the next word will begin with a vowel. That's at that moment you're going to do that. I suppose that plus and plus is an exception to the rule, okay? But here, it's a Z sound. Plusieurs, several episodes. So I love to watch several episodes of my favorite series of the moment. C'est sans m'arrêter. So, ma série du moment sans. without stopping. M'arrêter, here it's a reflexive verb, s'arrêter. But that's not what the exercise is about. The exercise today is about learning how to read out loud. Le weekend, same word. Sometimes you have the same words in English and French, or French uses English words. Le weekend dernier, again, it's pronounced with an accent, the same as an accent aigu. J'ai regardé quelques. Now, QU in French is not que, it's que, okay? Quelques épisodes de Stranger Things. Et c'était vraiment, Ian, génial. And it was amazing. Okay? So we've read it once. Now let's have a look at whether we can read it together again. Read after me. Lisez avec moi. Pendant mon temps libre, j'aime écouter de la musique et cuisiner de nouveaux plats. Mais parfois, je préfère simplement me détendre et rester chez moi. Je fais aussi de l'exercice de temps en temps. Okay, I've just realized something. You could say je fais aussi. Okay, that works too. Je fais aussi de l'exercice de temps en temps. Par exemple, j'adore regarder plusieurs épisodes de ma série du moment sans m'arrêter. Le week-end dernier, j'ai regardé quelques épisodes de Stranger Things et c'était vraiment génial. So now we are in reading number 2. We are familiar with the Z sound of the liaison. We are familiar with the EN, AM, EN, and so on, EM, and so on. We're familiar with the Y sound for I, double L, and we've discovered that EAU or AUX is a O sound. I hope this exercise is useful to you. Of course, we covered that in great length at learnfrenchwithalexa.com with my GCSE course. The course is a step-by-step methodology for how to tackle the French GCSE exam. So please have a look at it. Now, I've got 2 suggestions here. Why don't you have a look at another part of the speaking exam with the photo card exercise here? And why don't you practice your pronunciation by watching this video, which is on my other channel too? That's it for me. Au revoir, à bientôt. Bisous, bisous.